Sorry I had to come in the camera like that. I decided to turn the TV off because there's a lot of sounds going on. My neighbors got music on, so I hope it don't give me any copyright issues because that's not my music. That's my neighbors. So that's why I decided to turn the TV off real quick right before the video came on because um, I don't feel like no copyrights from nothing. But anyway, how y'all doing today? I'm doing great. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something because my nails is not done. But I'm probably gonna do them today. Mm, I don't know. I might not. I'm not sure. But anyway, I decided to come on here real quick because I was actually supposed to write this video out before I created it, along with some other videos that I have already written out. But I just ended up changing my mind and deciding not to write it out. So I'm just gonna ad lib. So what this video is going to be about is basically what seems to be the hot topic lately: the Will Smith smack. Okay, so here's the thing. I've always been a huge fan of Will Smith. He smacked Chris Rock. I have never really actually been a fan of Chris Rock. Now, mind you, I do kind of sort of like the show Everybody Hates Chris, but I still never really was a fan of Chris Rock. I can say I was a fan of Will Smith because I liked the little bit of music that he did do. I liked his music. I liked his show when I was younger. My brother used to always make me watch Fresh Prince. Yes, my brother and I, little short story time. My brother and I used to fight over the television like every other sibling rivalry type situation. And I used to always want to watch Sister Sister. Okay, because of course I'm a girly girl. I used to always want to watch Sister Sister, and I used to always want to watch That's So Raven, stuff like that. My brother, majority of the time, what he always wanted to watch is basketball and Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So I can actually say that my brother was the one that really got me into Fresh Prince of Bel Air, because at first I wasn't really into it because it wasn't really a show that I felt like was like interesting, because I only basically like girly type stuff, girly type shows. So Sister Sister, girly type. That's So Raven, girly type. So that's why we ended up having that discrepancy. But he ended up winning at the end of the day anyway, because like I said, I ended up liking the show because he had me watching it so much. So I liked the show. I liked his music. I like daggone near all the movies that I've ever seen Will Smith in. Like, um, of course, like everybody else, I love Men in Black, um, Independence Day. Um, what else was he in? A number of other movies that I really liked. Chris Rock, I never really liked him like that. And Chris Rock was in movies too, but he always playing somebody that's like strung out on drugs with white lips looking like he on crack or something. So that's why I never really liked Chris Brown in no movies or nothing. But I mean Chris Brown, Chris Rock. But um regardless of not liking him and stuff, um I ain't had no personal vendetta or nothing. Oh, and I never really thought Chris Rock was that funny. He's not one of the comedians that I would say that I personally think is funny. I think he's corny, honestly. So, said all that to say this. People can probably possibly say, oh, well, you're going to show favoritism immediately because you like Will Smith all the time. You always like Will Smith and you never really like Chris Rock. But here's the thing though. I always stand for what's right. So even though I like Will Smith, If I realize that Will Smith did some crappy stuff, he did something that wasn't cool, then I say, not to say that it would automatically make me not like him no more, but it would definitely make me be honest about the situation and be like, oh no, Chris, no, no, I mean not Chris, no, Will, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But what he did, it was nothing wrong with it. I don't know if you guys have done a little research or remember, but I did a little research myself, and I remember the time frame that I found when I did the research. So I did some research and I found out that this past time that Will smacked Chris was not the first time that Chris was talking crap about Jada. And I also found out that the first time that Chris talked about Jada, that Will took him to the side and tried to talk to him. I read it. I was Googling and I was reading about different stuff about them. And I caught that story that basically said, this time is not the first time that Chris was talking about Jada. That's why Will went to the extent that he did. In my opinion, that's why he went to that extent. Because he like, you think I'm playing with you? I done already asked you nicely. Please don't talk about my wife. Please don't make my wife the butt of your jokes. Please don't do that to my wife. And I thought we had an understanding. And then you turned around and did it again. Right in front of my face and in front of the world. So if you're going to keep disrespecting my wife in front of the world, I'm going to disrespect you. And I feel where he coming from. Why I feel where he coming from is because I'm a woman that too many times, instead of being protected and not ever hurt by people I loved and cared about, I'm a woman that too many times have been hurt by people that was supposed to be loving me, that was supposed to be protecting me, that was supposed to be making sure that I never got hurt. So seeing and hearing that Will took it upon himself to say, you know what, that's it. I'm going to do something about this. And he walked up on that stage and he smacked the crap out of that man. It made me feel good. Because it made me feel like, wow, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Now, black men are finally realizing that your role on this planet is not to just be called the man, because men love to be called the man. Ah, yeah, you the man, you the man. Men love to be called the man. But you're not just supposed to be called the man, but you're supposed to be the man, which means you're supposed to be the predominant provider. You're also supposed to be the predominant protector. And you're supposed to be the one that takes on the lump sum of the stresses in the family, because you're the man. You're the strongest one. But the fact of the matter is, these men have not been living up to those labels. They want the label, but they don't want to act the part. They want the part, but they don't want to act the part. And then when you call them out for not acting the part, sometimes, like Jada, the guy takes heed and he does something about it. And then sometimes, like most other men, the guy sits there and tries to argue with you, try to tell you you crazy, try to tell you you psycho, try to tell you you wrong for wanting better. And it's just like, it's sad to me because I see this predominantly happening in the black neighborhood. So sue me if you feel like that's not the case. I have eyes and I see very clearly, and I see that it's always okay to protect Native American women. It's always okay to protect Indian women. It's always okay to protect Asian women. It's always okay to protect Chinese women. It's always okay to protect white women. But when it comes down to protecting a black woman, there's always a reason why it's not okay. It's either, oh, y'all need to stop being violent two wrongs don't make a right, and all this foolishness that don't even make sense. Because the fact of the matter is this: if somebody gonna keep being violent towards you, and you never be violent towards them, and they continually keep being violent towards you, what else do you think you could possibly do to make them stop being violent towards you? Maybe be violent back, because maybe that's the only language that they're going to listen to and that they're going to understand. I keep hearing people tell me, especially black people, oh, two wrongs don't make a right. They both was wrong. No, they both wasn't wrong. Will was right. Because Will did what he was supposed to do. The first time dude did it, he ain't make a big deal. He took him to the side. Man, please don't make my wife the butt of your jokes. You a funny dude, and I like you. You cool. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm just saying that I feel like that's probably how that conversation went. I wasn't there. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking that's probably how the conversation went. And Chris Rock was probably like, oh, man, you know it ain't no big deal. You my homie. I ain't going to talk about it no more. There's a bunch of other people I could talk about. And then years later, he does it again. And Will is like, man, didn't I motherfucking tell you, excuse my mouth, but didn't I tell you to stop disrespecting my wife? And you gonna do it anyway? Okay, now I gotta let you know that when I asked you kindly to not talk about her, I meant that. And so that's why he had to do what he had to do and smack him. And I feel like more men, especially black men, need to stand up for us black queens, because it's not enough people standing up for us. Yes, I do understand that it may be a problem with other nationalities, but I don't know about it being a problem with other nationalities, because I've only seen that major problem with black women. And it's sad. I watch other YouTubers. I don't have her name in front of my face. I'm going to try to see if I can find it right now while I'm on this camera to tell y'all about her, give her a shout out. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find her. It's somebody that I watch on YouTube. She's not the only one on YouTube that does videos like this, but I forget her name right now. But it's a lady that I watch on YouTube, and she specifically does videos about usually black men, black women, and children who like basically just come up missing. Like Leah Gordon, that's her name. Leah Gordon. This is her right here. So y'all go follow her and watch her videos. Leah Gordon does a lot of footage talking about like cold cases, or don't even have to be cold cases. It could be recent cases where black women, black men, and black children either just come up missing, nobody's ever found them, or they've been killed and nobody ever, was arrested or caught for the crime. I mean, and it's just like, it's so sad because, man, she got so much footage here. And it's sad because it's like, yo, being a YouTuber, I thought about doing that kind of footage because I know I would never run. Sad part about it, I know I would never run out of stories because it's so, man, when you think about it, when you go and you Google, it's so many stories. It's sad about, especially black women, but about black women, black men, and black children missing, cases gone unsolved. And that's because there's no protection for the black woman. And that's why I feel like Will was exactly correct for doing what he did, because it's his job as a man, as the man of the household, his household, to protect the women that's around him and the children that's around him. That's his job. That's every man's job. That's what men are here for. They want to constantly keep trying to tell a woman what her job's supposed to be. But when do these men ever hold each other accountable for being a man? Do y'all ever talk to y'all homies that y'all know don't be making sure that they support their children and that they take care of the women in their household? Do y'all men ever like come at other men and like tell them about themselves and like tell them like, yo, dude, you need to take care of your kids. Dude, you need to make sure you take better care of your woman because you know somebody will take her. Do y'all ever talk to each other to tell each other like, yo, listen to your lady. She means well by you. Protect her. That's what you here for. I said all that to say this. Like, it's so much hate in the world. It's so much messed up situations and messed up stuff in the world. It's not enough love. It's not enough of taking care of each other. It's not enough of looking out for one another. It's not enough protection. And so when I heard that story about that happening and that occurring, it made me feel good because now I'm feeling like people starting to wake up. And matter of fact, Jada said it, and I agree with her. They said Jada Pinkett's response to the slap was, it's healing season, and I'm here for it. And I agree with you, Jada. I'm here for it too. And I do believe it is definitely healing season. And that's exactly the reason why Will knew he had to do that. Because he knew, yo, it's necessary for me to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do for my wife. Which means make sure she's protected. And make sure nobody is sitting there taking advantage and talking crap about her. And nobody's protecting her. So I just pray that one day I can meet a man that will be just like that for me. Because that's a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, Tiffany Haddish said it. She said she thought that was a beautiful thing, what he did. And I agree with her. I believe the same thing. That was an amazingly beautiful thing. That's a man, that's a black man that deserves to be called a man. Some of these men out here don't deserve to be called a man. Because come on. The only thing that equates you to a man is you got a goatee and you got a penis. Excuse my mouth. But that's the only thing that equates you as a man. Because other than that, some of these men out here, they don't stand up for nobody. They barely even stand up for themselves. They don't protect nobody. They barely protect themselves. And they barely can provide. So it's like all of those things are supposed to be what defines a man. And all of those things are things that a lot of these men out here is not even capable of doing or keeping up. But they want to constantly be called the man. And I'm not at a point where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to call men anymore. No, I'd rather you act like a man. So that when I'm calling you the man, I don't feel like I'm lying. You feel me? So I had to share my thoughts on the slap because I was seeing it so much. And I said, you know what? Let me talk about something that everybody's talking about. Let me talk about something that's trending. And this story is trending now. Mind you, I haven't been able to be on Instagram for a long time, but since I got my phone. Since I got my new phone, I have not been able to be on Instagram because I can't sign in for some reason, whatever. I got to get everything together for that. But on Facebook and YouTube and a lot of different websites like that, I am seeing this story all over the place. So me being a YouTuber now, up and coming, trying to get as much watch hours and love and appreciation and all of that good stuff as possible, I said, well, you know what? Let me try to do something different. And let me talk about some real life situation that just happened that's trending and see if people will enjoy that. And so, there it is. And so I'm going to couple this up with another subject that I actually was going to make this a different video, but I'm on a roll right now, so I can just keep being on a roll. So my next video that I also was supposed to have written out and didn't write out is called Accountability. What's that? Ooh. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm about to ask Google right now so y'all can have the exact definition. What's the definition of accountability? So, I'm about to tell you guys the definition of accountability right now. It is the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility. So, I decided to talk about accountability today, and I decided to make it a part of the Will Smith slap story because I feel like that's the reason why Chris Rock got slapped, because he didn't want to take accountability. He didn't want to realize that, it's not right when somebody specifically asks you kindly not to talk about their people. It's not right for you to turn right back around, disrespect their wishes, and then laugh at them at the same time. That's not right. So that's why I decided, you know what, I'm going to talk about accountability. Accountability, exact definition again, is the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility. So basically, accountability is a person taking responsibility for their actions. So if Chris Rock was to take responsibility for his actions, he would understand that, the man asked me not to talk about his wife nicely. And I decided that I was going to be hard-headed and do whatever I wanted to do and talk about his wife anyway. So I got what I deserved. I mean, if he took accountability, he would realize I got what I deserved. Because I did something that was not right to do. And then, not only that, I did something that somebody specifically asked me not to do. So not only was it not right, but he specifically asked you not to do that. And you still turned around and did it. So when somebody does that, they get what they get because they were not responsible. They did not take accountability and realize, okay, what I do affects other people. Because that's what accountability teaches you. Accountability teaches you that, hold up, wait a minute. I can't just do whatever I want to do. Because when I just do whatever I want to do, I hurt people. And hurt people. So I literally start a chain reaction of pain because I don't want to be accountable. What? Really? And that's one of the reasons why this world is so messed up right now. Because you got a whole bunch of adults that were not taught to be accountable. You got a whole bunch of adults that were not taught that your actions affect other people. Your actions can literally create a reaction that you don't want. You cannot be upset that your actions created a reaction you don't want when you was not upset about your action in the first place, which obviously wasn't a good action, or you wouldn't have got a bad reaction. But people don't want to pay attention to what really matters. They only pay attention to stuff that's irrelevant. They want to pay attention to how you respond, but they don't want to realize, wait a minute, I got to be responsible and I got to understand. The only reason why this person is responding this way is because look what I put out. Look what I put out. Look what I just did. What did my action cause? That's taking accountability. When you realize that, hold up, just like other people doing stuff affects me, me doing stuff affects other people. I had to think about that before I do the stuff. But see, it's a lot of people out here supposed to be grown, and they think about it after the fact, and then they'll turn around and say some disrespectful stuff like, forget about that. I'm sorry, but I cannot forget about disrespect, especially when you just did it. How you expect me to just say, okay, I'm going to just forget about that? You didn't even apologize, mind you, because a lot of times they don't. And then if they do, a lot of times you have to ask them to apologize. They don't come out with the apology on their own. You got to ask them. Don't you think you owe me an apology for da 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 da? And sometimes you're lucky if you get it. And it's just like, it's sad, because it's just like when you got a bunch of adults in the world that don't have accountability, you got a big mess on your hands. And that's what this world is. This world is a big mess because it's a bunch of grown behind kids walking around, because a child is the kind of person that don't want to take accountability and don't want to act like they're responsible for their actions, because children aren't technically responsible for their actions because they have parents that know better. And so technically their parents are the ones that's responsible for their behavior. But when you're a grown behind man, when you're a grown behind woman, you're responsible for your behavior. So when you sit there and make mistakes and stuff and then turn around and tell people to forget about it, that just shows just how irresponsible, immature, and juvenile you really are, no matter what age you are. And it's a lot of old people that's very juvenile, very irresponsible, and act like nobody ever taught them about accountability and about how to be responsible for their own behavior. You got a world full of people that want to always blame the world for their problems. Honey, it's not the world, it's you. And when you realize that it ain't the world and that it's you, then you will actually be able to put yourself in a position where you can actually win and do better for yourself. But you're not going to be able to actually win and do better for yourself if you can never realize that you are the problem. Because then you'll never be able to find a solution, because you're always looking at other areas that's not the actual problematic area as the problem. So with you not looking at the real problem, are you ever going to find a solution? You're not. You can't find a solution if you're never going to look at the real problem. If you always looking at everything that's not the real problem as the real problem, you're never going to find a solution. You're going to always have that problem. And that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. They never fix the problem because they never want to admit the truth that they're the problem. That's where that accountability comes in. Hold up. Everybody not doing me dirty. The whole world's not against me. Hold up. It's some stuff that I'm doing that's not necessarily connecting me. That's not actually putting me in a good mind space. That's not actually putting me in a space where I can actually be proud of myself. But when you realize that, then you take it upon yourself to say, you know what, let me start being mindful of what I'm doing. Let me start being mindful of how I affect other people. And that's one thing that I personally been making sure as best as I possibly can that I do. I make sure I practice what I preach, and I do my best to make sure that I don't treat people a certain kind of way that I know that I wouldn't be comfortable with myself if somebody was to do that to me. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that's one thing that my mother taught me. One way that you know whether you're right or wrong about what you're doing is if you wouldn't mind nobody doing that to you. If you're doing something to somebody that you would mind if they did that to you, then you know you're wrong. That's the best way to know. Oh, I wouldn't want it done to me, so why am I doing it to somebody else? But that's why I thank God for my mom, because obviously everybody's mother didn't teach them like that. And I appreciate my mom for teaching me like that, because it makes sense. If you don't want it done to you, why are you okay with doing that to somebody else? That's a legit question. But y'all, thank y'all so much for watching my channel. This is Ruth Delgado, Ruth Delgado Glamour page. Y'all know. Truth Tribe. Y'all know if y'all been here before. If y'all haven't been here before, welcome. Thank you for coming. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Mwah. I do. I do. I very much so appreciate y'all. I hope y'all like my little I forget what they call this. The little effects that I put on there. I thought that was super cute because my fro was popping today. So I said, let me put some hearts in it. So I really hope you guys, enjoyed this video. And I hope I get some people that agree with me here that, yeah, we need guys out here protecting us. Us black women out here, we need some protection, black men. We do. We love y'all and we need y'all to do what y'all put down here to do for us. And that's to protect us and to make sure that we're not being taken advantage of and abused right in front of you. Because it's not right. It's not good. It's not something that any woman feels good having done to her. But I specifically vouch for black women specifically on purpose because like I told y'all about Leah Gordon. Leah Gordon is the young lady that I watch a lot on YouTube that always tells about stories of black women, black men, black children that get killed, get murdered, get all kinds of crazy things happen to them. And nobody cares. Like it's sad. It's sad. And then when somebody like Will does do something to show that they care, then they get ridiculed and put down. And all these stars want to talk bad about him. Jim Carrey, they said Jim Carrey said something about he feels like Will Smith has a mental issue, mental problems. Really? He has a mental problem just because he decided to protect his wife and not allow his wife to keep getting emotionally abused? When I tell you that this crazy world is too much for me, on that note, I'm going to bow out. All right, y'all. See y'all next time.